Have you ever been told you're just too sensitive? Or maybe you're just so selfish? If so, you're not alone. In this video, we're discussing favorite insults narcissistic parents use to shrink their children. Words that attacked your identity, yourself, and growing up and still echo inside your head today. I'm Jerry Wise, and for over 45 years, I've helped hundreds of thousands of people heal and get their families out of them by practicing self-differentiation, the process of becoming your true self, and releasing the false self you were trained to be in your family of origin, so you can finally experience clarity, peace, and a lasting freedom. Insult number 1, you're too sensitive. Your narcissistic parent weaponized this insult anytime you had an emotional response to their behavior. You cried after being yelled at. Too sensitive. You got upset when they broke a promise. Too sensitive. You discovered they lied to you. You were upset. They said, "Welcome to the real world. Stop being such a baby." The insult taught you that your feelings were the problem, not their behavior. You learned to suppress your emotions and shut down your natural responses because having feelings meant something was wrong with you. Now look at your adult life. You dismiss your own emotions before anyone else gets a chance to, telling yourself you're overreacting when you're just really responding inside. That inner voice saying, "You're too sensitive." That's not your voice. That's their insult still shrinking you from the inside. Insult number 2, you're overreacting. Your narcissistic parent used this insult to shut down your emotional responses the moment they started. You express pain, overreacting. You express frustration, overreacting. You express some fear, definitely overreacting. This insult taught you that the size of your emotions was always wrong. Too big, too much, too intense. You learned to shrink your reactions and feelings, to clamp down before they fully expressed anything. In adulthood today, you catch yourself mid-emotion and immediately minimize it, telling yourself you're being too much. You've become your own emotional police, monitoring, judging, and shrinking yourself before anyone else has to or feels they need to. Insult number 3, I was just joking. Don't be so dramatic. Your narcissistic parent disguised their cruelty as humor, then blamed you for not being able to take a joke. The insult came with a smile, the criticism wrapped in laughter, and when you got hurt, you were the problem for being dramatic. You learned to laugh at your own pain, to swallow the sting, and to pretend it didn't really land on you, because reacting meant you couldn't take a joke. Now in your adult life, you let people hurt you as long as they say they're just kidding afterward. Cruelty wrapped in humor gets a pass. You shrink your pain down to nothing because you've been trained to believe that if someone laughed while saying it, it doesn't count. But it counted. It always counted. Insult number 4, you're so selfish. Your narcissistic parent used this insult whenever you had a need, a want, and a boundary. Asking for help, selfish. Wanting attention, selfish. Saying no, incredibly selfish. The irony is that your narcissistic parent was the selfish one, but they projected it onto you. You learned that having any needs at all was a character flaw, something to hide and be ashamed of. In adulthood, the guilt hits immediately when you try to prioritize yourself. You feel like you're doing something wrong just by taking care of your own needs. You've mastered caring for everyone else, but treating yourself the same way feels selfish. Their insult shrank your needs down to nothing, and it's still doing its job. I might also want to share that many ways you can tell if someone's joke is really a joke. Would you have made that joke with them and felt okay about it, many times you probably wouldn't have made that joke with them because you don't have a tin ear in terms of reading the room or reading the person. You knew if we're not both in on this joke, it's not a joke. It's me being critical, shaming, or criticizing you. Insult number 5, you're crazy. When you questioned your narcissistic parents' behavior, they hit you with this insult. You saw something clearly, their lies, their manipulation, their cruelty, and they told you that you were crazy for seeing it. This is gaslighting in its purest form. The insult made you doubt your own perception of reality, and you started wondering if they were right, if you were the problem, if you couldn't trust your own mind. In your adult life, you second-guess yourself constantly. You know what you saw, what you felt, what you thought, and what happened, but a part of you always wondered if you got it wrong. This is self-gaslighting when you cause yourself to doubt your own reality, feelings, and perceptions. Their insult shrank your ability to trust yourself. Insult number 6, you're such a disappointment. Your narcissistic parent didn't need the specific failure to deliver this insult. You didn't have to do anything wrong. You just were disappointing. This insult went deeper than your behavior. It told you that who you are at your core is a letdown. Now in your adult life, you carry a constant sense that you're letting people down. You succeed and still feel like you should have done more. You achieve something and immediately find what's lacking. This insult shrank your sense of self-worth so small that no accomplishment ever feels big enough. Insult number 7, you'll never amount to anything. Your narcissistic parent delivered this insult to crush your confidence before it could fully form. You failed a test, you'll never amount to anything. The insult pronounced your future before you even had a chance to build it. And you internalized that message no matter how hard you tried. You would never be good enough. Now let's look at your adult life. You push yourself relentlessly, but the finish line keeps moving. You succeed and discount it. Others praise you and you don't believe it. You're still trying to prove that insult wrong, which means it's still shrinking your ability to feel proud of yourself. Insult number 8, who do you think you are? Your narcissistic parent used this insult whenever you showed ambition, confidence, and any sign of becoming your own person. You shared a dream. Well, who do you think you are? You stood up for yourself. Who do you think you are? Showed excitement about your future. Same response. Stood for your beliefs. Who do you think you are? This insult trained you to stay small. It punished you for having aspirations and reminded you that you had no right to want more. In adulthood, when you're about to step into something bigger, self-sabotage kicks in. Imposter syndrome floods you, and you shrink right before the breakthrough. That old insult is still running in the background, telling you that you had no right to be more than what they said you were. Insult number 9. Why can't you be more like your sibling? Your narcissistic parent weaponized comparison, constantly measuring you against your sibling, and you always came up short. Or your cousin, or whoever. If you were an only child, then there was a cousin, then there was a nephew. This insult told you that you weren't enough as you were, that someone else was the right way and you were the wrong way. It created rivalry where there should have been a connection and made your worth contingent on outperforming someone else. In your adult life, you're still comparing yourself to everyone, coworkers, friends, strangers on social media. You measure your worth against theirs and always find yourself lacking. This insult shrank your identity down to a scorecard, and you're still losing a game you never signed up to play. Making a mention about social media is a Rorschach test. Social media is a mirror in some ways because we project our insecurities from the social media. And social media, much of it's not even true. Much of it is a distortion, but that doesn't matter. It captures and catches us at our most vulnerable spot or where our issues are unresolved. And that's what I think is dangerous about social media, is that it will trigger and be triggered by our unresolved issues. Insult number 10. You're just like your parent or your sibling or someone else. Your narcissistic parent used someone else as an insult, comparing you to the parent they resented or the sibling they scapegoated. This wasn't about your behavior. It was about your identity being tainted by association. You're just like your father, and the mother had divorced the father. Well, you're just like him. You learned that parts of you were fundamentally flawed because they resembled someone your narcissistic parent despised. Now, in your adult life, you're terrified of becoming like that person. You police yourself constantly, scanning for their traits in you and rejecting parts of yourself because they remind you of the comparison. This insult shrank your permission to be yourself. Your sense of self gets built on not being someone else, which isn't really a self at all. Insult number 11. Nobody asked you. Your narcissistic parent used this insult to silence you whenever you tried to speak. You shared an opinion. Nobody asked you. Tried to contribute. Nobody's asking you. Offered a suggestion. Same shutdown. This insult trained you to believe that your voice didn't matter, that your thoughts had no value unless someone specifically requested them. Over time, you stopped speaking up altogether. Now in your adult life, you struggle to share your thoughts even when people genuinely want to hear them. In meetings, in relationships, in everyday conversations, you hold back, waiting for permission that never comes. This insult shrank your voice into silence. But your voice matters. It always did. That insult just convinced you otherwise. Insult number 12. No one will ever love you. Your narcissistic parent used this insult to make you feel fundamentally unlovable. Saying it directly during an argument or implying it through a constant rejection and criticism. Either way, the message was clear. You were too flawed, too broken, too much of a burden for anyone to truly love. This insult attacked your worth at the deepest level. Now in your adult relationships, you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. Someone loves you, you don't fully trust it. You test them, push them away, expect them to leave. This insult shrank your capacity to receive love, but that was the lie they told you, not the truth about who you are. Insult number 13. You ruined my life. Your narcissistic parent blamed their unhappiness, their failures, and their unfulfilled dreams on you. This insult made you feel like a burden just for existing, like your very presence had caused damage that could never be repaired. You didn't ask to be born, but they made you feel responsible for everything that went wrong in their life. Now in your adult life, you carry guilt that isn't yours. Other people's unhappiness, your responsibility. Their moods, your fault. Their failures, somehow connected to you, even when it has nothing to do with you. This is systems guilt, a conditioned response you were trained to feel on cue. This insult shrank you into someone who takes up as little space as possible, and it's still controlling you. Insult number 14. I don't know what's wrong with you. Your narcissistic parent delivered this insult whenever you didn't believe the way they wanted. The way they said it made it clear something was fundamentally broken inside of you, and they couldn't understand why. This insult was more insidious than a direct attack because it implied a deeper flaw, something unfixable at your core. In adulthood, when you struggle or make a mistake, instead of giving yourself grace, you attack yourself. What's wrong with me? You call it self-reflection, but it's really self-punishment. This insult shrank your capacity for self-compassion, and their voice became your new inner critic. I remember telling myself so many times, Jerry, you're such a moron. Why would you do this? That was so stupid of you. What is wrong with you? Those messages came in my head and even out my mouth at myself. Insult number 15. You are a mistake. This insult attacked your very right to exist. Your narcissistic parent said or implied that your existence was unwanted, that the world would be better off without you in it. For a child, there's no recovering from this in the moment. It strikes at the deepest wound, the fear that you shouldn't be here at all. You learn to apologize for existing and to take up as little space as possible to earn your place in the world that apparently never wanted you. Even now, you struggle with feeling like you belong anywhere. You dim yourself, stay quiet, and make yourself small so you won't be a burden. This insult shrank your very right to exist. But what you need to understand is your existence was never a mistake. That insult was a reflection of their brokenness, their immaturity, their toxicity, and not your worth. If you're ready to finally break free and start living with clarity, peace, and a grounded connection to your true self, then join my Road to Self program. Many who've joined say it was the missing piece in their healing journey. Just read the testimonials. They are all genuine. We have not written any of them. I will not do that. It's the step that finally helped them get their family out of them and stand strong as their true self. If you're not sure if you're ready for the Road to Self program, then start with my free, totally free, 84-minute self-differentiation training. Over 30,000 people have joined the free training as their first step. Click the links in the description to get started. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the bell icon so that you'll never miss another video. And by the way, be sure to hit the hyped up button on your YouTube. If you click hyping it, which I think you can do 3 times a month or a week, I don't remember. If you hit the hype button, they will share the video even further on YouTube. Thanks for watching. Have a great day and be wise.